Hello and welcome to the Huskie Pack Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Don Killingbeck, and I'm joined by no other than Principal Keith Green, Corey Snyder, Lori Gensch, and Josh Chase, along with our Director of Curriculum, Lindy Beckman. And today on the Huskie Pack Podcast, we're going to be talking about the anxious generation. We've been unpacking this book for the last couple of months, and as a team, we want to share it with you. So, anybody got a reason? Why are you recommending this book to your friends, to your family, to our parents?
I think that one thing that really stood out to me was really what students are growing up with nowadays. I mean, they are growing up in an environment that limits their autonomy, limits their risk taking. And really, those are the things that are essential for their emotional development as they're growing up. I know when I grew up, we left school and we went out and played in the yard until it was dark, or we were out going over to a friend's house. Nowadays, if kids are climbing in a tree, we worry that they're going to get hurt. I don't think that's any of the fault of parents. That's just the way our world is right now. So I think we tend to overprotect them in the real world, whereas when we're talking about the digital world, we're underprotecting them. We hand them a phone and they have free reign to do what they want to. So I think it's a really difficult thing as a parent. We want to strike a healthy balance in regards to how we protect our students and our own children.
I think that's really important, what you said, Lori. And I also want to make sure our parents and our listeners understand we're not parent shaming here. Every one of us are parents, and every one of us are learning with you. So, Keith, I know this first chapter, Tidal Wave, really hit you. What are some of the walkaways that you brought with this?
Yeah, I have a lot of walkaways down, and I would think we're definitely. I'm going to go back, and we're not parent shaming. Because I think we're parent shaming. I'd be parent shaming myself because just because we look at this book and think, man, there's a lot of stuff that we need to do. But some of the walkways that I get, Don, is that we look at how kids deal with a lot of the adversities that they have. They don't know how to deal with adversities and how to deal with things that are happening, coming at them. And in our jobs at the high school, as a high school principal, we have kids that just refuse to give up their cell phones, and it's their oxygen, and it's a battle, and the amount of stress that kids put upon themselves is really grown, and and some of the statistics that are just insane, that come out. There's since the increase of social media, there's been 188% increase in emergency room visits for teens. It's just an insane amount of problems that kids have to deal with right now.
The beginning of the book, the author starts with this idea of growing up on Mars and kind of poses this thought of, would you let your child grow up in this other planet, essentially, with a device in their hand is really what we're thinking of, like implications of, this other world that we really don't know all of what's to come or all of what would have come with social media, technology. And this book really gives us some insightful thoughts of things that have happened over the last few decades with technology and social media. And it's really not just about what's happened with COVID. And that was something that was a surprise to me. I really thought this was really going to be just about what's happened with COVID. And it's not that at all.
I love that you brought that up. One of the things that, Corey and I, when we were having coffee, I think a couple weeks ago, we were talking about chapter 1 in the frontal cortex, in how, like humans are humans. This isn't just since COVID. Corey, you want to chime in and tell us a little bit about that conversation?
Yeah, so I even see it in my own daughter. She's a three-nager right now, and she doesn't have a device. She doesn't sit in front of it. She doesn't own one. We don't use one out at restaurants with her. She knows how to manipulate my phone or my wife's phone just from watching us do it. She can zoom in on pictures and scroll back and forth. So it's wild how easily trained our kids are at this age. And our brain isn't even fully developed until we reach our mid-20s. So we are putting these devices in our kids' hands without a whole lot of education behind it, and how to use it appropriately and when to use it. And the fact that you don't have to get likes on Instagram or a ton of retweets or whatever social media platform we're using at this point. You don't have to value your self-worth within those likes and retweets and everything else.
Yeah, and I think a takeaway for me is we need to remember that it's not any one of us that's seated around this table. It's not any parent listening to this podcast right now. It's a real shift in society. And I just think about, when I grew up, 1979 is when I grew up, that's when I was born. Seat belts, they weren't a law. They were
Oh my
encouraged.
gosh. How many people at the table rode the back of the truck
Yeah.
with no topper, fresh air?
Yeah, so our society has gone from a place of that where we didn't really monitor or supervise students or kids the way we do in a physical matter. And I mean, in person, like, we're not going to let them go in the backyard. We're not going to let them go in the woods and have free play and do whatever they want and build forts. We're going to definitely monitor that. But on the other side, we're handing them a device where app developers have all of these algorithms that they can create, and we're not monitoring it at all.
Ouch. Josh, I'll tell you what, that's a big, it's almost like you hit the home run for our introduction for Title Wave, Section 1 of the book. As we wrap up, one of the things we've learned as leaders, as building principals, as district leaders, and also as parents, is that we need to do a better job of supporting our students and our own children when it comes to technology. And we also maybe need to be a little bit more free when it comes to the real world and allowing them to have, how many people in here had stitches when they were kids?
All the above.
All the above. And you actually got physically injured, so the 188% of increased ER visits aren't from physical injuries that occurred during play. It's from other things. And so with that, we're wrapping up. We're going to come back to the Huskie Pack Podcast in the anxious generation. And we're going to keep unpacking this for you as parents, as community members, as fellow educators. And so stay tuned